with him. So we all know my seething, like almost indifferent to the point of hatred of Coach Red Pill. We all know that he's a fucking idiot, a fucking lunatic. And as we discovered in one of the last videos that I did about him, the reason why he switched from being his quote unquote feminist as he thought he was is because he was accused of sexual assault by a college and he couldn't get into the elites. And that's why he acts the way that he does, because he's mad at the elites that he can't be a part of because of a false allegation that he still got suspended for school for. I don't know about you, but if you mad because he actually was found that something did happen in the whole investigation, and that was the result of the investigation by his words. I'm not giving you anything that he's not said. Well, they still said that I was guilty, even though they quote unquote had proof that she was lying. But dude, you're bragging about that. The whole she was lying bullshit. And like, no, that's not how this works, coach. And so, yeah, let's go about his reason why that women don't have good judgment. So let's go into this one. I'm gonna have an aneurysm tonight. Let's start. Oh, yeah, before we start this shit, let me speed his ass up to full 1.5.
The only people who fear judgment are the guilty.
Okay, good judgment. It's not why women have poor judgment. Oh, shit. Oh, God. This is going to be one of those where I'm just going to rant about, like, oh, God. Oh, let's continue.
A lot of young men ask me how to develop good judgment. A lot of times they wonder, what is good judgment in the sense of like,
Well, one thing we know good judgment isn't is actually listening to your ass. And, oh, wait, I'm confused. So, does he realize that... Does he realize what he did at first? He's using judgment as in passing of a sentence when now he's talking about judgment as in the delineation of the determining between two things. No, he recognizes that he just did that bullshit, right? It's Coach Red Pill. He doesn't recognize he did that bullshit. But let's continue.
How can you tell that this is a good idea and this is a bad idea? Huh? They ask me this, but they want to know how you get it. And it made me think of
life experiencing, listening to somebody who doesn't have their head up their ass, reading books and judging by the history of other people's, not necessarily emulating, but taking the good and the bad out of what they do. The shit that you've been doing since like fucking you've been able to be a egocentric person, and not egocentric as in puffy, but just a person with ego and understanding of, self-aware and being of self. That's how you have judgment. Now, good or not, it depends on sometimes on the outcome, but it's sometimes on your intention as well. So, yeah, let's continue.
This guy, SRK Motorcycles, a YouTube channel that, basically he sells used motorcycles. And what he does is that he has these mini reviews of the bikes that he's selling, right? And they're great little reviews where basically he shows off the bike and then takes it for a spin. And when he takes it for a spin, he usually says that, oh, the suspension is pretty good or a little bit soft or this.
So, oh God, he's giving this fucking antidote. And I just want to say that, like, let's let him continue.
Or that or the other, or too hard or whatever, and he says that the accelerator, it's a little twitchy or it's really smooth, it's got a great torque band or whatever, and you start asking yourself, how is it that he can make these judgments?
Well, specifically, it sounds like from experience, you motherfucker. You know this. Please tell me you know this. Nobody set him down and told him, you need to feel this way, you need to feel that way, you need to feel this way. No, it's based on experience. And your experience may vary. Your judgment about how something feels may fucking vary. But let's continue.
How can he decide that, the gears are a little bit hard or soft or this or that? How is it that he can make these distinctions? And the answer is obvious. Experience. Yeah, the guy has been riding around so many motorcycles over the decades, right? That, he can hop onto any bike and he can tell you right away that, this bike has good this, good that, and bad this and bad that, whatever it may be. So he's ridden so many motorcycles, right? That they have averaged themselves in his head. And he has ridden, all kinds of bikes, from little, 60cc motorcycles to big old, 1000cc plus hogs, right? He's ridden sport bikes, dual sports, naked bikes, this, that, the other. He's ridden it all, right? Over the years, because he likes motorcycles, and it's his job to ride these motorcycles that he's selling in his store, right? So he's automatically and quite naturally arrived.
So what does that have to do with the central premise of good judgment, my friend? Like, you're just talking shit right now. You're blustering, dog, and it's for no other reason but to say, like, to just, I don't know, set up some expertise in some kind of way. But it's not working, man. The only thing you sound like is like you're just trying to fill that time for that 10-minute YouTube time frame. Which you probably are, but let's continue.
At an average of all of these motorcycles that he's ridden. And so whenever he rides a new one, he's automatically comparing that new motorcycle to this average that he has in his head. And every quality of every motorcycle, it's like a band. This is what the acceleration is going to be like, this band more or less, and this is going to be the gearbox, and this is going to be...
Okay, so he is not trying to equate people to motorcycles. I mean, like, I know you can ride people, you can ride motorcycles, but motorcycles are quieter when when something's wrong with them. Bad joke. I know. But, like, literally, he is not doing this, is he? He is not doing this shit where he think, like, and it makes him sound so, like, no, this analogy breaks down because when you realize that each person feels differently about the way a motorcycle rides. Fuck, anybody feels differently about the way anybody does things. But, fuck, let's continue.
Be the suspension and whatnot, the handling and all the rest of it. He's got averages for every quality, and every new bike that he comes across, he compares it to that mental average. That's judgment. Nothing more complicated. You have a body of experience, and you are comparing and contrasting the new thing that you come across.
So what about the guys in your audience, and you know that they are there, Coach Red Pill, who are incels and don't have a body of evidence? What about those guys?
To that body of experience. And so the important thing becomes to add as many elements into this grab bag of experience. You want to learn more, experience more, because it's only by more experiences and learning more that you can increase this band of what is experience and know when it falls inside that band or above it or below it. It's only by gaining as much experience as possible that you will arrive at good judgment. Because good judgment...
Okay. Now this is the same guy, and I want to keep pointing this out, that literally has said that if a woman has sex with more than 2 men in her life, then she can't love her children. So a guy's supposed to have all this sex and experience, but a woman is supposed to have none. I'm like, who are they fucking if they're not fucking the women? I'm gonna just leave that right there and let you decide, Coach Red Pill. If women aren't supposed to have any experience and guys are supposed to have all the experience, who are the guys fucking? Answer that for me. But let's continue.
Judgment is looking at something, looking at a potential decision or a potential situation and realizing this is a good idea. That's good judgment. Because, of course, the person with good judgment will automatically say, this other stuff, this is a bad idea, and I am not going to do any of that. Okay? The person with good judgment is immediately eliminating the bad options and only taking the good options. And he takes the good options, whatsoever they may be, based on his personal proclivity.
There are no such thing as just all and out good and all and out bad. That's not how life works, my friend. And you know this. Or maybe you don't because you're that fucking simple that you think that it's good and bad and no in between. And by how stupid some of your videos are, I exactly wouldn't put it past you. But let's continue.
Proclivities, his personal tastes, the guy who's living life well, he can be anybody. He can be a garbage man. He can be a big-time CEO of some company. He can be whomever. But a good life is based on good judgment, right? Picking those options that are the better options. And good judgment arrives via experience, but not just by experience, huh? Don't.
Wait, what? He just spent fucking 3 minutes bloviating about the fact that good judgment is based on experience. He set up a whole 2-minute ass anecdote about good judgment is based on experience. Okay, coach, what is the other part of it? Is it empathy? Is it understanding people? Is it understanding what people have went through? Please tell me it's that, not some bullshitty ass reason of listen to your elders or some shit like that or because I said so. Let's continue.
Get confused because a lot of people say that only by living it can you know it. No, a wise man can learn from other people's mistakes. Of course, yeah. Look around at the people around you. Look what they are doing. Look at the decisions they are making, and make note of it. Mental note. File that away. Put that in your grab bag of experiences. Yeah. If something happens to somebody else, yeah. Well, it's almost as if it had happened to you if you're paying close attention. If you're looking at all the things going on in that decision.
Oh shit! I called it. He literally says empathy. Oh shit! I may be wrong about Coach Red Pill. He may not be a piece of shit garbage as I think he is. He may be better than what I expect of him. Oh shit. Those words were like extremely hard coming out of my mouth.
You can reach out and essentially steal that experience and make it your own for your grab bag of knowledge. The grab bag of knowledge that you will need in order to make good decisions and have good judgment. The same with reading. That's why I tell you guys to read. Yeah, because in the great novels of Dostoevsky.
Oh shit! Like he is literally said reading. Now he said Dostoevsky. Is he gonna say Tolstoy? Is he gonna say Dickens? Is he gonna say some of these other great literary writers who actually encourage people to learn more about others around them and actually become better people by, I don't know, taking care of those in need? Let's hear.
Tolstoy, whatnot. Yeah, I mean, everything before 1920. No, 1915. Yeah, everything before 1915, it talks about human truths.
Oh, shit. Does that include Dos Capital or the Communist Manifesto? like he's spitting. This man is spitting. Oh, shit, and I said that while I'm drooling at the mouth. But let's continue.
All the great 19th century novelists, Balzac, Dickens, whatnot, Chekhov, all these guys,
this motherfucker said Dickens. What about Nietzsche? What about Nietzsche? Is you gonna go for Nietzsche? Can I get a Nietzsche in this one?
They are talking about human truths. And people don't change. People today, in current year, they are no different from people 200 years ago. Yeah.
But see, that's where you lost me, coach. People do change. The culture changes. Society changes. Look, we're going through a whole ass pandemic and shit is changing all the fucking time. Fuck out of here, dude.
We have different technologies, right? We have smartphones and electric cars and stuff like that. But people don't change. And that's the beauty of literature, of good novels. Good novels can teach.
People do change, you fucking idiot. People change, people grow, and people become different. And not just on a singular level, societies have too. There was a time after the 1915 or 1920s where people actually started putting out things like, I don't know, Keynesian economics, because people didn't want to go as far as Marx, but people recognized that, Adam Smith was an asshole that like literally hurt people with the capitalist shit. But let's continue.
Teach you what people in the past did. And yeah, they might be wearing funny clothes and going around in horses, but their actions, they're human.
The fuck? What does going around in funny clothes and going around on horses have to do with anything about philosophy or good judgment? I'm sorry. Like, Are we making this for 12-year-olds? I mean, like, for real? Like, that's how childish that sounds. You've already made a point that we had different technologies. And my friend, that means there were some times where people didn't have cars. That still doesn't mean that, you know, it just seems like a weird kind of push to me. But maybe I don't understand it. Maybe I'm not dumb enough.
Human actions, there are human interactions. They're the same, and you can learn so much from them. That's why you should read everything you can. But most important of all, to increase your good judgment, to increase that grab bag of experience, study yourself. Study yourself, study the decisions that you made, and face them, the bad decisions most especially. Face those bad decisions and look at them and analyze them and give them a thorough autopsy. And of course, that's painful. Yeah, I mean, it just drives us.
God, this motherfucker is spitting. Like, he is saying some shit that, like, again, you know, get experience, learn through empathy about other people, and then learn about yourself. Like, this motherfucker is spitting. I don't like the conclusions that he's coming to, but, like, he is literally spitting. Let's go.
It's a little bit nuts. It makes our guts squirm to think back at some of the decisions that we made that were so awful, that were so bad. Yeah, of course. When we made bad decisions, when we were humiliated, when we were made to look like fools or saw ourselves as fools. Perhaps we fooled everybody else, but we didn't fool ourselves. No. If you are a true realist, you're never going to fool yourself. Yeah? You're going to know more or less what you're doing, and you're going to know more or less when what you're doing is wrong.
Says who, dog? Like, we have multiple schools of psychology, multiple philosophies of people that are, like, built up around the lies that people tell themselves. That literature that you're speaking about, that people should actually read and understand, is full of, like, literally plot issues where people are, it's like the lies that people believe, that main characters believe. So, dude, like, no, like, that's not how that works. There are literally, like, it's not that easy to figure yourself out. Shit, I've been personally going on a tale of self-discovery, and it's been taking me a while. And I'm still continuing on that. So please don't miss me with that bullshit about, of course you can know who you are easily. You can never lie to yourself. That's bullshit, dog. Well, let's continue.
Yeah, you have to look at yourself clearly in the face, without any illusions, without any notion that you are better than what you actually are. Looking at yourself with that honesty is so incredibly difficult, but it's the only.
Now we get it. Now we get to the point with a Coach Red Pill video where he talks about his viewers or his followers being trash and shit, and, like, you're not better and all that other good shit. Like, really, dog? Really? Let's continue.
Way that you can truly arrive at good judgment by looking at the mistakes that you have made, and also looking at the times you made the right decision, the smart decision, and count yourself lucky that you made that smart decision and never fall into the trap of hubris, of arrogance, of thinking that you're so clever, because you're not. No, you're not so clever. I mean,
like, this shit is just like, and he's sitting back there with this shitty, like, grin, like, oh yeah, I told him, because yes, I'm clever enough to tell them that they're not clever. Like, really, dog? That's literally what you're doing right now. You're committing that same fallacy, that same sin. But he can't see that. Let's continue.
I certainly am not. And I don't know of any man that I respect who truly thinks that he's all that and more. Most of the men, the great men that you're going to meet in your life, right? Yeah, they'll put out a facade that they know more or less what they're doing, and they're all, hot shit and hunky-dory. I mean, they have to, in order for people to follow them and follow their leadership.
Wow, the mask is fucking slipping, motherfucker. Like, literally, this is the shit that you're doing right now. You're doing the thing right now.
But most of those guys, especially the really great guys, the guys who are really aces, you get them in a quiet moment, a private moment, and you talk heart to heart, and the first thing that they're going to be thinking about and lighting on are the mistakes that they made. And they'll tell you, I mean, if you earn the trust of a really great guy, a guy who's like aces, usually the first thing that he's going to talk about at some point is his mistakes. And he's going to be grinding on those mistakes.
Self-hate is still a bad fucking thing to actually do. Yes, I know I've made mistakes in the past, like not being blessed upon this earth sooner. But I'm not going to just ruminate on those mistakes. I'm not just going to dwell on those mistakes as in like, as soon as I'm by myself, then, I remember a time when I was in third grade when I didn't spell the word right on my test and I got a B instead of an A. I'm not going to be doing that shit. I'm not. God damn. And again, he doesn't realize he's doing the thing right now.
And sometimes those mistakes are trivial in the scheme of a life. And there are a lot of mistakes I made when I was a boy, when I was, 15, 16 years old.
Like, you get this idea that Coach Red Pill is just so self-pitying of himself that he just constantly thinks that he's not adequate. So he puts up this front that, oh yeah, I'm great and you should really listen to me. Like he's describing right now.
And I grind about them today. And many times the decisions are forgotten by everybody else except me. And I think about those decisions all the time, the bad choices I made. And I think to myself that those bad choices that I made, in a very real sense, define me. Because by facing those bad choices, those stupid decisions that I made, the stupid things that I did, I make sure that I'll never do them again. Now, the decision itself might have been trivial. I mean, how much trouble can a 15-year-old get into, right? But they were revealing of flaws that I had. Of flaws that...
I mean, like, you can just be shot for, like, I don't know, having a wrong skin color. Like, how much trouble can a 15-year-old boy get into? I don't know, looking like somebody who's a suspect. I mean, like, y'all, like, this bullshit about, like, I'm off on a tangent. I know I'm off on a tangent. I know I'm off on a motherfucking tangent. But, like, motherfuckers like him that, like, think shit is sweet is not. Damn.
That I had, deficiencies that I have, and that I consistently work on, and that I know that they're there. They're never going to go away. These fundamental flaws in my character that I will always carry with me. And so I have to be always on the alert that these flaws don't come out, don't peek out and ruin something, ruin my life. You see, that's the hard thing to do. And you can only arrive at that perspective by way of judgment. And you can only arrive at judgment, good judgment, by way of learning.
I mean, like, are we going to talk about the allegations that was against him, that maybe that was a bad decision? I'm just saying, like, let's continue.
Gaining experience, your own and others. And a final note. There are a lot of people today that say that you shouldn't judge, that you should not judge others, and you shouldn't even judge yourself. You should just give everybody a pass, And if somebody does something, it's stupid or smart or this or that or the other.
No one says you shouldn't judge, you stupid motherfucker. No. We were going so good. No one says that you shouldn't judge. That's not the whole thing. It says, as your Bible says, you should judge by the same amount of token that you, and give as much mercy as you would want yourself. That's what the Bible says, you fucking idiot. Let's continue.
That you should just, no judgment. We're not going to judge. That's a horrible, horrible perspective. I'd never fall into it, okay? First of all, the only people who fear judgment are those who are guilty. Never forget that. Anybody says otherwise, just when they say don't judge, say the only people who fear judgment are the guilty.
We're talking about two different types of judgment. You dumb motherfucker. Oh, God.